fights between the drug cartels and each other and the Mexican government. And I'd like to give the Mexican president huge credit for taking on this challenge. So we have to get the border secured, obviously, and we have to have a temporary worker program. Now, the unions, the labor unions in America, have come up with a proposal that does not have a legal temporary worker program. That means someone fills a job an American won't take, works for 2 years, goes back to the country they came from, can come for 2 more years, go back to the country they came from. Their proposal lacks a temporary worker program. I can support no proposal that doesn't have a legal temporary worker program in it. Go down to Yuma and ask our growers down there.
Let me ask you, do you think that we were better off when there was an ebb and flow seasonally with the workers who came and went, and now that we have stepped up security on the border, we have actually trapped people in this country who can't go back? We've exacerbated the problem.
Well, the problem is also exacerbated by the movement of drugs across our border as well as individuals. We had a program in the 40s and 50s called the Bracero program, where migrant workers could come and work legally for a temporary time, particularly in the agricultural sector, and then they could go back to Mexico. That's basically what we're saying we need now. With technology, we could give someone a card they could swipe, as long as they were temporarily working and as long as they were legally working. And
you just want to know who they are.
Want to know who they are, and they're also a temporary worker is very different, totally different from a path to citizenship. If someone wants to become a citizen, they apply for a green card. They go through all the naturalization process that people go through that want to be citizens of this country. So they're two entirely separate programs.
And you're saying that they should not, if they came here illegally, be able to cut in line ahead of people who are trying to become citizens?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The key is, a priority is to those who have either come legally or awaited coming here legally.
Before we take a break, and we will get to in the next segment the election and how Senator McCain thinks President Obama is doing, his former rival, and same-sex marriage and torture. Some issues we'll talk with Senator McCain about. But before we go to break, do you think this election in Arizona for you will hinge on border security, illegal immigration? What will be the issue?
The economy and the economy and the economy, and jobs and service to the country, and vision for and to the state of Arizona, and vision and articulation of ways to address some of the greatest threats we have, both in the case of our economy and overseas. We're in 2 wars. We're in 2 wars. Lots of our Arizona Guard is serving overseas and has done so with incredible courage and sacrifice. A lot of national security issues, Carol, are of great concern to the people of Arizona.
Back with Arizona Senator John McCain, seeking a 5th term in the U.S. Senate. We'll be back in a minute on Newsmaker Sunday.
Hi, everybody. It's Ron, Rick, and Alexis. The digital transition is coming, and it's about to make your favorite shows look and sound better.
That's right. The new date for the transition is June 12th. That's when analog television signals won't be available.
After that, you'll need a TV with a digital tuner or a converter box to get TV signals from an antenna.
Make sure you're ready for the transition so you don't miss your favorite shows.
Questions? Just log on to myfoxphoenix.com or call this number to get the facts.
It'll make the transition to digital easy.
Headlights, skylights, white walls, purple walls, mirrors, and mirrors. When you bundle auto and home together with the Hartford, you'll save money. First, just by switching your auto insurance to the Hartford, you could save $475. Then when you bundle auto and home together, you might save an additional 15% on your premium. You also save time with a single point of contact for both.
Call 877-HARTFORD now to bundle and save.
This is the final weekend, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. at More Furniture for Less. Pay no interest for 5 years. Make no down payment and pay no interest for 5 years. That's 60 full months. Now, absolute lowest prices ever on living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and all leather sofas. Have your furniture now and pay no interest for 5 years at More Furniture for Less. One final weekend, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., 11 hours.
Back back with Arizona Senator John McCain. Our first chance to really have a conversation with Senator McCain since the election. Any conversation at length, and I appreciate you coming
John,
down.
could I go back a second to what we were discussing before the break? Look, Arizona is hurting very badly. We were on the crest of the housing boom. We've lost hundreds of thousands of jobs in this state. The economy is what is hurting, and it's the home values that have to stabilize, and we have to get credit flowing again. Our community banks are hurting. I've met with them. Our small business people are hurting. That's what I think the American people care about, far and above anything else, and right behind it, I think, is our nation's security. Things are very tough over in Afghanistan now, and they're going to get tougher before they get better. And they're tough in Iraq right now. We've seen an uptick, a spike up in violence there, and we're going to have to keep evaluating that situation. We've got citizens serving in active duty, and we've got Guard and reservists who have already sacrificed and are putting it on the line right now. So I tell you, economy and national security far outweigh any other issue.
But beyond addressing the immediate problem,
this is not an immediate problem. These are long-term problems.
You've talked about generational theft.
Yes,
that's your term.
You're exactly right.
We've got spending now that makes George W. Bush's spending look like kids' play. This is triple what he did.
You're exactly right.
Where are we going with this?
One, I believe the economy will recover. I believe the innovation and the productivity.
Did we need stimulus to do it?
We needed a stimulus, but we needed our stimulus. And our stimulus was half of what, and they were really shovel-ready projects. And we also said once the economy is recovering, then we got to put us on a path to a balanced budget. We are mortgaging our children's futures in a way which is, in my view, the economy is going to recover, but we are laying a debt which will cause hyperinflation, debasement of the currency, and a debt problem the likes of which we have never seen in the history of this country. And now we're also seeing the greatest transfer from the private sector to the government of America's economy in history. We now own automobile manufacturers. We now own banks. We now own financial institutions. This is, look, I admire the president. I believe he's been very effective. He enjoys great popularity. But I think these economic spending, we used to talk about millions, and then we talk about billions. Now we're talking about trillions.
See, the problem is now, for Republicans, you're going to lose your filibuster ability because Specter defects to the Democrats. It looks like Coleman loses in Minnesota, and you end up with Al Franken. Now you are completely on the outside looking in.
Actually, that is, there's more there than meets the eye. We have moderate Democrats from basically conservative states such as Arkansas, Nebraska, other states that will be hard pressed not to vote with us because their base is fiscally conservative, as we are. And so it's obviously every time we lose a seat, it's harder. But I think a lot of Americans are going to make their voices known that we got to stop this spending spree. With all the president's popularity, we're beginning to see that in the polls, that this indebtedness and spending spree is beginning to bother and concern a lot of Americans.
You know, we did a little bit of this in the 1980s, and we grew our way out of it. Can we grow our way out of this?
Actually, we did it more in the 70s. And so, therefore, when Ronald Reagan became president, there was 21% interest rates, somewhere in the teens in unemployment, and in the teens in inflation. And we had to wring out the economy. And that's what's